And Alex is too kind. It's fair to say that his study that preceded mine in terms of policing of vulnerable communities in Birmingham was absolutely front and centre of our desire to create a prevent programme for organised crime, to make sure that where we have got communities that are affected by organised crime, and where we know there are overlaps with terrorism and a range of different social economic factors, that we have a clear offer to help in a way that was absent and was unevidenced before that. So that's my reciprocal praise to Alex, who's a genuine inspiration to me. So this was a discussion about focused deterrence and how we can try and stop organised crime from happening in the first place, rather than wait for people to get entrenched in it and then to try and persecute them. So just the national context for those that aren't sort of familiar, serious organised crime is a tier 2 threat to national security, and certain elements of it, such as cybercrime, are actually a tier 1 threat. The estimated cost of organised crime has increased from just over 20 billion 10 years ago. And that's an important landmark, because that was the point at which the government decided that, given the impact that organised crime is happening, that we should mirror the structures in CT for organised crime, and crucially a 4P programme that incorporated prevent. Notwithstanding all of the progress made as evidenced through HMI CFRS inspections, the threat for organised crime has continued to increase over that period to over £37 billion less than 10 years later. Recent sort of strategic assessments have shown that that has been fuelled by a sort of increase in OCGs and use of new technologies to kind of increase the trade routes for illicit markets. And so the best evidence at the moment is that while HMRC has demonstrated we can make a really good impact against new emerging threats, such as cyber county lines, that actually the organised crime level now has now returned to its sort of pre-pandemic levels, which is obviously very concerning. Also, I think a useful reference point for any research around organised crime, not just in the prevent space, were the findings of the Home Office Committee on Public Accounts in 2019. What effectively said is we must move criminals and actually work out ways to stop organised crime from happening in the first place. But something that I'm sure no one in this audience will sort of disagree with, that we need a better evidence in terms of what works from practice. In terms of my research, as I mentioned, it was inspired by the work of Alex that ran before me in West Midlands, and also by the research of Proctor in 2017 that looked at what was going on in communities affected by organised crime in the West Midlands, particularly Wolverhampton and Coventry. What we found is that West Midlands Police and the West Midlands Police area was the second highest area in terms of organised crime threat in the country after Metropolitan Police. A kind of organised crime population holding assets well in excess of £150 million when tested in sort of 2019.